If you look at foreign policy under President Biden, it's a disaster. Starting with the withdrawal in Afghanistan that resulted in the death of 13 U.S. service members, to the Russian invasion of Ukraine, to the terrorist attack on Israel, to the threats emanating in the Indo-Pacific from China. President Trump, under his administration, took on China, took on Iran, and took on Russia. And the reality is, if you look at what is happening in the world right now, you have this unholy alliance between China, Russia, and Iran that seeks to undermine the United States and destabilize the free world. Since Joe Biden took office, Iranian petroleum sales are up over $100 billion. $100 billion increase. Those funds are used to fund Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and other terrorist organizations in the region. 93% of Hamas's budget comes from Iran. That's why it was so important in the supplemental aid package to get my bill, the SHIP Act, and the Iran-China Energy Sanctions Act in it. So I believe President Trump is going to have a very strong foreign policy, as he did during his first administration, to combat this malign influence. Now, there's no question within the Republican Party, there are some that have a more isolationist view. I do not. I recognize America's role in the world and the responsibility as leader of the free world to combat this malign effort by these countries, to increase sanctions on Iran and China and Russia, and to support our allies. It's why I fought to get the supplemental aid package through. There will obviously be robust debate and discussion, and no, America cannot be the world's police officer, but the reality is that we have to continue to forge coalitions. We have to continue to get NATO to invest, and that, frankly, is something that President Trump was extremely successful at, forcing NATO countries to pony up. I also think we need to be building a NATO-like alliance in the Indo-Pacific, which is a bill that I introduced, to bring Japan, Korea, Taiwan, the Philippines, Vietnam, Australia, New Zealand, and India. India is going to be key going forward as well. So I expect a very robust foreign policy in a second Trump administration.
But are you picking up your fellow Republicans are scared to death also?
No. Look, I know when we're get into these things and somebody gets chosen, there's always the urge to try and say, well, this person's going to do this or do that. The foreign policy is going to be dictated by Donald Trump. Obviously, Senator Vance is going to have a seat at the table in this. We'll see who becomes Secretary of State, who becomes UN ambassador, who becomes Defense Secretary, who becomes CIA director. That will all play into this. And look, in the Republican Party, we have a big tent. We have a lot of perspectives and views, and they should be heard. But as a member of Foreign Affairs Committee, I can tell you, by and large, the Congress is united in supporting Israel, supporting Ukraine, supporting Taiwan, and combating our adversaries.